Okay, guys, so before I get in today's video, I just want to say that if you are struggling to find work, if you are working a dead end 9 to 5 job and you want to quit, or if life just isn't really going well for you, you can start your own business, work hard enough, and make your life good. Guys, I have created several businesses that didn't work out, so you're not alone. But this video is titled How to Make Your First $1,000 in Your Small Business. And so I am going to teach you on how to do that. This is the exact blueprint on how to do it. And I'm going to touch on topics that maybe have nothing to do with it to you, but to me, these topics that I'm going to discuss are crucial to actually building wealth in your business, on how to create wealth in terms of advertising and going out and just doing your thing. Guys, I am not a tax expert. I am not a lawyer. I am not anything like that. And so, specifically, this is just coming from personal experience and opinion. I have also got 15 years in experience with sales. I started out with Amazon and eBay when I was like 15, 16 years old. I am now 30 years old. I did pallet flipping. I did serving. I did cold calling. I sold door to door. I sold solar. So I have done a lot of things in sales. In fact, this is my entire career. I've never done anything else in my life. And not that it matters, but I do have a bachelor's degree in business management with a minor in accounting. But again, that's besides the point. Let's just get right into the video. Guys, this is assuming you already have your niche. If you do not have your niche for your business, for example, window cleaning, gutter cleaning, pressure washing, any type of service-based business, any type of brick and mortar store, you're selling clothes, you're selling hats, you're selling tools, whatever the case may be, you need to figure that out, because if you don't figure that out, this video is completely and utterly irrelevant to you. Guys, the very first thing that you are going to do in your business on your track to making your first $1,000 is going ahead and setting goals. Now, you're not just going to set your goal for $1,000 a month or $1,000 bi-monthly or whatever. That would be stupid. You need to go ahead and set your bar very, 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 very low. What do I mean by that? You need to be able to make $50 in a month, for you to kind of set your first goal. So my first goal was to make $100 in a month with my business. That was my first goal. And $100 in a month is chump change. It's nothing. That's homeless money. But at the same time, I felt so good when I booked my first client. I booked my first client relatively close to where I live. I do live in the state of Florida, and I booked him for $50 a month. $50 a month, guys. My girlfriend at the time, now wife, was making $3,000 a month. She's a school teacher. And I'm like, I'll never get there. But I kept moving forward. And eventually I made $50 a month, $100 a month, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So again, set your goals. Your first goal should be $50 a month, $100 a month, $150 a month. Work up like crazy. Guys, the very next thing you need to do on your track to making that $1,000 in a month or wherever you want to be is going ahead and selecting your target audience. This is very, very important. Is your target audience going to be older people? Is it going to be kids, babies, mothers, fathers, whoever the case may be? You need to establish that. Now, the real question is, how do you do that? Well, unfortunately, it's going to be door knocking, and you can do it in other ways, but the most effective way that you're going to be able to do that is through door knocking. You can print out door hangers, business cards, flyers. You can do whatever you want. But guys, the most interaction that you're ever going to have in sales is door knocking. You're going to face people that just want you off their property. You're going to face people that want your service. You're going to face people that are all kinds of different. But the key and important thing is to keep your composure. And if an interaction doesn't go good with door knocking, the next house will have a completely and utterly different reaction. So what exactly does door knocking do in business? Well, the first thing it's going to do on your track to making that $1,000 is going to be learning how to speak to people. Guys, this is crucial in business. You have to learn how to speak to people. If you do not, you will never, ever, 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 ever get where you want to be. You have to be able to sway people and convince people that your product is better than other people's product, that you're a trustworthy person, and that you're not going to lie to them, cheat them, or steal from them. Guys, door knocking also comes in handy with overcoming objection. For example, I'm a professional window cleaner for commercial and residential properties. If I go door knock and a person says, "Hey, buddy, I'm not interested," my initial reaction is, "Oh, no, I totally understand." Most people aren't really interested until they hear a bit of a deal. What I'll do is go around, count the glass, give you a quick price. If you like the price, that's cool. Let's move forward. If not, you have a bunch of rocks around here. You can just tell me to kick them. Fair? And so you want to be able to overcome different objections when you're at the door, and door to door is a great way to do that. Guys, another thing that door to door is actually going to be really good for is sensing personalities in business. So you're going to come across a lot of personalities, a lot of different people, older people. You're going to come across, younger people, young homeowners or whatever. And some people are going to be like a bulldog and say, "Get off my property." And the other people are going to be that golden retriever type of person where they're going to just talk your ear off, and it is what it is. And you got to kind of sway the conversation and get it back on track to your service. Another great thing that door to door is going to do is help you book appointments same day or next week or next month, whenever you're doing, it's going to help you book appointments. And so obviously, if you're trying to sell a clothes or something, that's totally fine. But again, it's going to really help you book those appointments for your pressure washing, window cleaning, or whatever business. If you're trying to sell, clothes or whatever, this is a little bit different, but you can still, invite them to buy your service. So guys, I say all that to say this. Selecting your target audience is absolutely crucial in your business and on your track to making that first $1,000 in your business, whether that be just regular or recurring. Door to door is a great way to do that. And when you're doing door to door, you're specifically taking notes. Okay, more old people buy my service or product. More moms and dads for their babies are buying my product or service. These kids, more kids are buying my service, or more young adults, or whoever the case may be. And so you're taking notes for your first 100 people. You're seeing who buys your service or product more. A quick note, the alternative to door knocking is going out, printing out door hangers and hanging them up on doors. I don't recommend this because not only are you not getting any interaction with people, door hangers aren't always effective, and you could print out 1,000 and receive 0 calls. And so door hangers, I believe, have a 1 to 3% conversion rate, and 1 to 3% is not going to get you where you want to be. You want to be making that $1,000 in a month or whatever the case may be via learning the experience along the way. Now, guys, the next thing we need to do is create the business. Now, keep in mind, and I should have said this earlier, but when you're door knocking or when you're passing out business cards or whatever the case may be, you're doing this without an LLC, without anything, because this is what's going to happen. If you find out that you don't like the business you're doing, or you hate door knocking, or this creating a business is not for you, you've already created that LLC. You've already got that business insurance. You've registered with the registered agent. You've already paid some money. You don't want to lose all that money, right? So you can go out and door knock, guys. It's not against the law, at least here in the state of Florida. In the state of Florida, it is not against the law to go out and door knock $24 or less. If I'm going out and selling a product for $500, okay, that's illegal. But for me personally, you don't need a solicitation permit if you are going out and selling a product for $24 or less here in the state of Florida. Look up the laws on your state, and if you absolutely have to have an LLC or a legit business, or if you need a solicitation permit, go get that first. But again, look up the laws, because a lot of times you will be able to get away with going to door knock your product. So guys, creating that business is very, very important, because the next thing I'm going to get into is recurring services. And this is how you generate that monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly revenue, such as $1,000 in a month. So guys, creating that business, like I said, is very important. You need to get that LLC, you need to get that business insurance, and you need to be able to file for the registered agent. You need to know what a W-9 is, all of the legal stuff, right? Because once you do this, you are now officially in the IRS's eyes. You're using the money that you made to perhaps buy new tools. You're using the money to essentially, buy the LLC and things like that. So guys, after you've done that, you need to establish a base of recurring clients. So in my personal opinion, I believe that if you do a home and you don't necessarily get them on a recurring basis, you have failed that house. You have failed as a business owner on that property. Now, There are rare occasions where it's just a one-time clean and they don't want it, but for me personally, I'm able to convince a lot of people to get my service. Now, I book on a bi-monthly basis, and that's how I booked my very first property. That's how I booked all of my properties, etc., etc. The goal with recurring is to make a relationship with them, show them that you can do the job, and mention that yes, cleaning it once is great, but maintenance cleans are what's going to keep the job clean. Now, I can do recurring services in a separate video. There, I can go in depth with it, but for the sake of this video, I'm not. But if you have any questions, let me down in the comments, and I will be more than happy to address any questions you guys have or make separate videos along the way. Just keep in mind, you only need for your recurring services 10 appointments at $100 per month to make $1,000 in a month. Also, keep in mind, you need 20 appointments at $50 a pop to make $1,000, guys. It's not that hard. Guys, in the door-to-door industry, we have like a little saying. The first door is always the hardest. What's the first door? The car door. If you can overcome your car door, get out and go knock. The world is your oyster. Also, keep this in mind. You are one 30-second conversation away from essentially making 50 bucks, 100 bucks, whatever you want. So guys, in my opinion, that is the exact blueprint on how to make your first $1,000. If you want me to go in depth with anything, please let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Buchanan Windows out.